Shuey, I guess how is the team holding up after such a big defeat?
Yeah, we're okay. I think externally sometimes people want to see us really flat after those games, but I can assure everyone that it means a lot to lose like that, and we're hurting, and we've been hurting all year. We're not satisfied with where we're at, so that was another punch while we're down on the weekend, but we're working hard to turn things around and start getting some wins on the board, and just hope people can be patient and hang in there with us, and we're confident we'll come out the other side sooner rather than later, but it's never nice to lose by triple figures.
Did you watch the game, and was it hard to watch, I guess, and how it was going? Yeah,
it's hard to watch every time you don't play and we're not performing, because you want to get out there and help. So it wasn't nice to watch on the weekend, but a lot of the year hasn't been great to watch. But then other periods we've watched on and been really proud of what some of our young guys particularly have been able to produce. So we took a big step backwards on the weekend, but in the bigger scheme of things, we still believe we're on the right track, and we're confident we're going to get there sooner than what a lot of people are saying.
What makes you think you're on the right track, Luke? When you say that?
The growth we've seen from our young guys this year. There's guys who are getting exposed to a lot of AFL football probably before we would have liked them to. So I think essentially that's a positive, because it's the greatest learning experience you can have, being thrown in the deep end. So some of the progress we're seeing from those guys, and when we had a healthy list at the start of the year, we were stringing really good quarters of footy together. So we know that we need to get our injuries right and get our bodies back on the park, but when we do that, that's when we'll assess where we're at, and if we can't produce results when we have a healthy list, then there's probably issues, but we're confident we'll be able to get a few back over the next few weeks especially, but certainly by the bye and post-bye, we should have a healthy list to choose from, and then I'm sure you guys will see some different results from us.
What gives you confidence, Luke, that playing those heavy defeats can be a good development opportunity for the players rather than detrimental for those young guys?
Well, a lot of us have been through it. Back in 2010, one of my most vivid memories from my 14-year career is down in Cardinia Park, round 22, 2010. 2010? Yeah, 2010. So we were playing against Gary Ablett, Joel Selwood, Corey Enright, Scarlett, Ling, guys who were just at the top of their game. They were the best side in the comp for a number of years, and as a young guy, being exposed to that firsthand, you learn things without knowing you're learning them. Subconsciously, you take things in. I think it arms you with an element of resilience. So Ruben Jimby, Chess, Hoffy, these guys are going to be so much better in the long run. Although we'd love it not to be happening, they're going to be better when our backs are against the wall, and those guys are 24, 25 years old, and they're leaders of our footy club. They'll be well equipped to deal with it because of what we're going through now.
So some of the frustration was that you mentioned the team that Geelong had at that point, but the Hawthorn team on the weekend isn't. Can't compare the two.
No.
A lot of the frustration is that Hawthorn themselves are a bottom team, and to still lose by triple figures. How do you kind of compare that loss to say the Geelong?
Yeah, I get that. But our team in 2010, we were still able to pick from a reasonably healthy list, whereas at the moment with 25 to choose from, we're probably exposing guys to things they're not ready for on the footy field. So, and look, at the same time, I need to give Hawthorn some credit, because some of their performances this year don't probably reflect that of a team that's 17th or 18th on the ladder. So their good footy this year, which they've produced a bit of, has been really good, and they were good on the weekend and we were horrible. But in the game these days, any team that's up against any team that's bad normally goes one way. There's not a lot of room for error, and it wasn't a great formula for us on the weekend, but they've been playing good enough footy that if we were going to be that off, they were going to do that to us. So, disappointing, but in the same breath, I look at these young guys and what they're going through and what some of our leaders are doing now, which I saw Darren Glass and Dean Cox and Mark Lecrae doing back in 2010, and it's very similar. So a lot of people externally probably don't feel that way, and I've heard a bit of the commentary this week around it is different eras and different teams, and we're heading in different directions, but I'm confident we're on the same path that we were all those years ago.
Luke, a lot of calls for change, a lot of anger out there, calls for change, administration, players, coaching, stuff. How does that make you feel, Captain?
It doesn't make me feel anything, really, because what's said externally has no impact inside the four walls. I get the narrative that people are going after and the agenda that might be being chased externally. Bash West Coast while they're down and try and get someone sacked maybe. But, you're not going to get... I don't think you guys will get any clickbait with that sort of stuff from our players at the moment. We're fully confident with who we've got here, and I've never seen a more driven group to turn this around, and I wouldn't want to be doing it with anyone else. So,
So do you believe Adam Simpson is the right person to lead the club forward?
That's pretty much what I was alluding to. Yep.
How do you feel about, I guess, the prospects of a longer rebuild than maybe you're anticipating?
Look, I'm still buoyant that we've seen teams turn things around really quick, and I get some people might say we don't have the talent that Collingwood had 3 years ago when they finished 17th and that sort of thing, but you can turn things around so quickly in this game, and from a personal point of view, over the years when I've had down periods, form slumps, things off field that are affecting me, you just never know when you're going to turn a corner and things are just going to come up trumps for you. So we're optimistic, we work hard, and that's all we can do. And I think, as I said before, we're going to see results sooner than what a lot of people think, and I'm confident we'll surprise a few, but I'm looking forward to it.
There's been obviously a lot of talk about the coaches, but there's also been talk about the veterans in the club, and when is it time, I guess, to move on and let the youngsters have. Is that also some conversations that are happening in the four walls about the veterans and when it's time to call it quits? Yeah,
those conversations happen every year, especially once you hit 30. I think you start thinking about it a little bit more, and you do talk behind closed doors about how your body's going. Do you still love the game as much as you used to? What have we got to offer the club? Who's potentially there to kick me out of my spot and take my position? That sort of stuff. So. I think with the talent we've got in over the last few years, there's certainly a bit more pressure on us old blokes to either deliver or start stepping aside for potentially some young boys. And in all honesty, I think that'd be great if our young mids and some key backs and a couple of forwards bob up over the next 6, 12 months, 18 months and start producing footy that we can't say no to. That's going to be really healthy for the club. So. And that's on us as leaders to develop these kids so that happens sooner rather than later, and that's the way it goes. Everyone's got a use by date. We'll see what happens.
For yourself, what do you think the likelihood is that you'll continue on next year?
It's something I haven't given a lot of thought to, because if I lose track of trying to get my body right now, then I'm going to offer the club nothing in the back half of the year. So I'm fully focused on producing 10, 11 great games for the club before then, and then once I've done that, we'll make a decision.
We did see the Derby game, obviously, emotions for you kind of boiled over with punching the back of the exchange bench, but how was that kind of period, and how has that been since, obviously, the Port Adelaide game? Yeah,
it was frustrating. I felt fit, probably the fittest I've been in a number of years. I'd done more of a pre-season than I'd done for a while, so felt like I'd given myself a chance of playing some really good footy and stringing a good season together, and I felt like I was in reasonable form and we were going okay as a side. We'd come off a good win and we'd given ourselves a chance to be in the game against Freo too. So it was that was frustrating, but again, as I said before to Schmookie, you never know what's around the corner, so I'm optimistic about my rehab this time and hoping for a bit of luck, and I might string 10 or 11 games together in the back half of the year, and all of a sudden I've played a block of footy and doing what I love again. So, confident I can get the body right again and touch wood, see what happens.
How far off are you from coming back and playing this week?
Probably another 2. So I think initially the plan was the Adelaide game, so I'll be pushing for probably Collingwood next week and seeing if I can twist a few arms around the joint. But I think, given our history, I don't know if I'll have any luck doing that, but it'll be either Collingwood or Adelaide. So, yeah, over the next 2 weeks, I'd say.
And Oscar Allen just left the track a little bit early. Is he okay? I know there was a bit of concern after the game.
I don't know. He has been dealing with a sore knee. I didn't see him leave the track, so can't update you.
And obviously, just looking to back on the injuries list, obviously there's a lot of players in that are the best 22. A lot of those players are, as you mentioned, above 30 as well. Does that kind of play into the structure of the team and how you've gone this year, that some of your best players are above 30 and they're not in that kind of prime bracket, I guess, of like mid-20s?
Yeah. I mean, we'd love to have them out there, but at the same time, as senior players, we've had a responsibility to try and develop some guys over the journey, and if they're not, the guys in their prime, so to speak, mid-20s, if they're not producing the results we're after, then we need to wear that as leaders a little bit and take some responsibility. So, but again, we're confident with who we've got here and heading forward, the direction we're taking. And in terms of structures on game day and that sort of thing, we don't have a lot of flexibility with 25 to choose from. Playing a lot of guys out of position, exposing a lot of guys to things they're probably not ready for, but all we ask is for effort and to be able to drive home or get on the plane home at the end of the day and have no guilt about what we did. If we lay it all out there and we're still not getting the results, then that's on us to work on things behind the scenes to change game plan, improve guys more, teach new things, whatever it is. But until we can confidently say we're leaving everything on the park week to week, then we're not really going to get the results we're after at the moment with 25 to choose from. So we'll keep working as a group and as a coaching group, and we'll stay united and keep moving forward and ask our fans to stick with us. There's been no better fan base to play in front of in my 14 years, so I know there's going to be good times soon for them, and can't wait to give them something to cheer about.
The amount of injuries that the club has got, there's obviously so many, but do you put it down to unlucky, like just a serious amount of unluckiness going on, or is there a deeper problem within the fitness department?
I never like blaming luck for anything, but at the same time I can't point fingers at the medical department. I mean, we'll lose Jermaine Jones, but his foot got caught under a tackle. I don't know who can stop the game and in that split second help his foot out from underneath the Hawthorn bloke. So I don't like blaming luck, but there are things out of our control. And at the same time, we need to find a way to get our soft tissues right and that sort of thing. But as I touched on before with our coaches and the leaders of the club, I've never seen a more driven group. At the same time, I've never seen a more committed medical team at the moment to getting our best 22 on the park. They're working day and night, hours on end, to come up with new ways and new solutions to help guys. And that's on a personal level. They're helping us because they care about us, and we've worked alongside these guys for a long time, and they're working for us as friends more than anything, which we really appreciate. So, hopefully for their sake as well, we can get a few things go our way in the back half of the year and start to see our best 22 slowly back on the field.
Did you and other senior players over the summer do a new training program or fitness program? Was there anything different compared to previous years? Yeah,
they did. The medical team changed our training program going into the off-season, so and that was a real success. We had a fitter list than we've had in probably 5 years come back day one, and we had more training minutes into the group collectively than we've had for a long time as well. So we saw some results straight away with the changes they made, and they're dealing with a situation where they're trying to change things, but with games week to week, it's hard to get any consistency with what they want to do. So it's a challenge, but one we're going to keep working at.